Hello out there, this is AnYPony, and today I want to talk a little bit about a concept I kind of touched on a few times in the past, but I never really went into it and explain in detail how I see it. So today I want to talk a little bit about how I personally interpret magic in Equestria. First of all, I think it is a natural form of energy, just like heat, electricity, movement, the forms of energy we know in our world, we have science about, and we can observe rules and laws. And I think magic pretty much works the same way in Equestria. It's just another form of energy. And it also works like the forms of energy we know. For example, in our body we have chemical NS3, we have heat energy, that's why we have a body temperature, we have electric energy which is going through our nerves, and movement energy of course we have as well. So we are able as an organism to transform energy from one form into another. This is also something that is possible in MLP, that they can form magic out of other energy forms they have access to and other way around. They can use magic to move things, they can use magic to heat, so magic is really just another form of natural energy in my eyes. The problem is that the show itself is rather loose about it. I mean, in one episode, Twilight is able to lift simultaneously 3 dozen apples from a whole field of apple trees, and in another episode she is breaking a sweat about hovering a few animals. Yeah, I know there could be a possible explanation that moving living things is more exhausting, but then again she was able to turn her own gravity upside down for one long slide, and this didn't seem to exhaust her at all, so I guess we can agree that the writers are rather inconsistent about what can you do with magic and how it does work and how strong is each character, which is pretty much the source for most controversial within the fandom. It is also the reason why magic works very different in a lot of fictions. In one fiction you can do this and that with magic, but in another fiction it's limited to this. So yeah, that's tricky. So let's try to focus on how I interpreted it personally, and in the end it is loose enough so everybody can make up their own headcanon about it. I see it as an omnipresent magical field that is existent in this area. Like, for example, when there is a storm coming, there is electricity in the air, and I kind of see that in Equestria magic is so strong, there is a constant supply of magic energy in the air. And this is pretty much the energy unicorns are able to channel. They can directly touch into the magic field and channel it through their horn, and pretty much when you say a unicorn has strong magic, it means she has a strong connection to this magic field. I cannot really see that the magic comes from within a single unicorn, so for the reasons I said, it is a natural form of energy and somewhere this energy has to come from. This is also, the term over channeling often appears. I guess it is borrowed from D&D or something, I don't know, but I came across this term a few times in fictions and it pretty much goes to a similar direction. They are not burning out the magical force within them, they are over-channeling. They over-exhaust their capacity to channel magic, which also leads to some kind of burnout. But it is not the fact that they have magical energy resources in their body they use, but they kind of touch into the cosmic forces. Now, Pegasi and Earth ponies don't have this direct channel ability, but a certain indirect level. They use it in an intuitive way. This is where the whole cloud walking and cloud pushing comes from, and in the case of Earth ponies, sure, I can go along with forced explanation with having this connection to plants and something like this. I personally think always of Earth ponies as a little bit of the tanks of MLP. They have enhanced bodies, they are stronger, they are more resistant against damages. There is a very nice moment in an episode of the Lunarverse where an Earth Pony is crashing into a door and the reaction is just like, don't worry, Earth Pony, she can take it. In this version it is a given fact that Earth Ponies are really resistant and nearly unbreakable because their stamina and physics are magically enhanced. And of course there's also like all the stuff Pinky can do with moving extremely quick, breaking the fourth wall, having the Pinky sense. I also see all this as form of intuitive magic this particular Earth Pony is able to tap into, even though she's not really aware what she's doing and how she is doing it. Now for the differences within unicorns. I personally go a little bit with the idea that basically each unicorn is in theory capable of learning more or less every spell out there, but that they have a special form of magic they are better in than with others that come easier to them. So to speak, there are schools of magic in Equestria, and usually a unicorn has a talent for one or two different schools of magic, or they have the ability to touch into nearly every school of magic but only do the very basic stuff within. And of course there's also this kind of 101 of magic like levitation that is not part of any school, which is available for pretty much everybody because it's so intuitive for each and every unicorn to go with. In the case of Twilight, with special talent is magic, I see it like that pretty much each and every school of magic comes to her easily. That she can go into every field and can even learn the really advanced stuff in nearly every school of magic, and that's what gives her her special talent in magic. So this is pretty much how I personally interpret magic and how it works in Equestria. This is really only my personal headcanon. As I said, the show itself is rather loose and they often do what is actually not so elegant. They just use magic however they need it to fulfill their needs, and they are not really limiting themselves down to given rules. They kind of hint that there are rules, but I believe there is not really a cohesive set all the writers use for every episode. It is still pretty much open for interpretation, and if you have a different idea of how the magic works, yep, in this particular case it's really just headcanon. This is AnYPony saying see you soon.